this channel is a safe space. Let's keep discussions honest. Is tomorrow night the best time to play against Man United, or is this game set to be the mid-off of the season? One thing with this United team though is that they either commit to winning or losing. No draws at all throughout the season. So in tomorrow's game, I think we're promised goals here, and I think either team is set to win this game. Now, hopefully if we get the 3 points, we can finally, fingers crossed, leave 10th place, provided other teams above us don't win tomorrow. I do feel like December is the most volatile month of the season. We have like 7 games throughout the month. We'll see tons of teams get points, fall off, and I feel like this is the month we need to climb up the table, because right now we are only 10 points off securing a potential Champions League spot. So as I said at the start of the video, is tomorrow the best possible time to play against Man United? Well, based on all the controversy coming out from the Red Devils today, you'd like to think so, right? Of course, last night some damning reports came out providing some context behind life at Man United. Obviously, we're learning that players are quite indisciplined. We're learning things like half the team aren't really taken to life under Ten Hag. Obviously, they're the players that aren't playing. That's how this game works. Half the team are criticizing his management and the style he is implementing on the team, which makes a lot of sense. If I gave my quick opinion, listen, I kind of agree with Ten Hag's opinions right now. I do feel like guys like Varane have fallen off. I think he's been quite overrated over the past few seasons. And I think the lineup that Ten Hag is using is the most optimum lineup he has at his disposal based on the players he has in his squad to play close towards the vision that he wants. So I think with United, it's simply this. Are you going to commit to the manager, help him sell half these players during the next few windows, or are you going to like give in to public pressure and decide to back the players over the manager? Anyway, we learned today that United have kind of fought back against reports by issuing media bans towards certain publications and journalists because they weren't allowed to have the opportunity to provide their PR spin towards the reports. Now, make it that how you want. In my opinion, I feel the press should always report things freely, but regardless of who is right or wrong, the reality is simply this. Is the United squad going to be going into tomorrow's game with the perfect optimum mental preparation? Because I can imagine there's going to be a few tense conversations happening behind the scenes in the training ground today. I feel like there's going to be tons of discussions happening, and it will simply go either two ways. United either get galvanized by today's controversy and fight back against us, or they crumble under what's happened. Regardless though, how do I see this game going against United tomorrow? I think there's 3 things that fall in our favour. 1, our away records is way better than our home records. And I think because we have more space to play towards our strengths, which is playing in the transition, that will help us. Number 2, we're amazing. We raise our level, we raise our game against the big clubs. I feel like mentally we want to prove that we're better than these teams, and we show that with our performances, and I do feel like that will work in our favour against United. And of course, number 3, I think the biggest kryptonite to this Ten Hag United team is they are so poor with their pressing structure and pressing shape, and when you're playing against a team like us that is very dangerous in the transition, which really plays its best game in the transition, I feel like United potentially are there for the taking tomorrow. I mean, throughout the season, United's record against, clubs who are like 8th place and above has been terrible. In 7 games, they've conceded 19 goals. And their big losses against your Brightons, your Spurs, your Cities, even CL games like Galatasaray and Copenhagen, they're conceding a ton of goals right now. And I go into tomorrow's game with a lot of hope that we should finally get our first giant killing of this season by getting a big result against Man United. So today, my friends, I'm here to break down press conference, predicted lineup, all that good stuff. I'm stopping with the predictions. I'm not here to jinx it anymore. I get them wrong every single time, so I can invest more time discussing better things. So my friends, I hope you guys enjoy. If you feel confident that we will beat United tomorrow, hit the like button. If not, don't even bother touching it. So I hope you guys enjoy. Before we get into things though, today's video was brought to you by Match UK. Do you feel confident about us beating Man United tomorrow night on Wednesday? Well, my friends over at Match UK are currently offering new customers enhanced 40-1 odds on Chelsea to beat Man United tomorrow. If you'd like to get involved, simply create a Match UK account, and opt into the promotion. Then place a bet on Chelsea to beat Man United within 90 minutes before the match kicks off. The enhanced odds apply to a maximum stake of £1. This gives you a very nice extra £39 in free bets on top of your return if our Blue Boys get the job done tomorrow night. What's more, you will get a welcoming 20 free spins for the Starburst slot just for taking part. As always, terms and conditions apply. You must be 18 plus, and you'll find all the links you need below in the descriptions. So thank you to Parimatch for sponsoring today's video. Come on you Blues, let's hope we get the job done against United tomorrow. Let's start things off with team news, and some positives and some negatives, but I guess it's mainly kind of negative. Reality is we won't see Nkunku or Lavia tomorrow, even though both players are fit. What is happening is Pochettino is being very precautious. He is not risking things until both players are at 110%, and it makes a lot of sense. I think this is like peak intensity levels for most teams now during the winter months. Nkunku and Co, they missed out on building up their match stamina at the start of the season. So it means that they must come back even more prepared to be ready for the tough demands this month. I think that's the right management decision. Unfortunately though, it seems like our squad depth is getting smaller and smaller as Ugo Chukwu and Madueke have picked up small niggling injuries after that game versus Brighton, which is quite annoying. And in case of the rest of the injury news, it's still the same news right now. So all I'm going to say is, let's hope that Pochettino doesn't put on like 3 goalkeepers on the bench tomorrow. I think that it doesn't send out a great message to the academy. Even though we have a ton of players out on loan, listen, you never need to have 2 goalkeepers on the bench at all. So that is team news out of the way. Let's discuss the key talking points from the press conference. And of course, as Pochettino confirmed again, Nkunku and Lavia won't play. He's remaining careful. Right thing to do, we understand this. Pochettino was asked though, is this the best time to play against United? And I think Poch, the smart man he is obviously going to say something intelligent. There's no point publicly admitting that, yes, we are very excited about beating United tomorrow. There's no need to create any overconfidence or to boost anyone's ego. Let's keep things real. Instead, he's calling for the team to compete. I think we like to compete. Maybe we're competing a bit too hard at times. It's 49 yellow cards this season, 3 red cards. The disciplinary record is just completely in the mud this season. And I feel like even though United are technically there for the taking, they're one of those teams where they have players that can change the course of a game just like that, especially against a run of play. A Bruno 30-yarder, a Rashford 30-yarder, they can do that. So there's no need to get too overconfident, which I agree with. After that though, Pochettino was asked if he had any advice for Ten Hag. I'll let you guys just see his reaction for yourselves to this question.
Do you think of Erik Ten Hag as a manager? What does he bring to the table?
Sorry?
What do you think of Erik Ten Hag as a manager?
When I saw this on Twitter today, I think I watched it 10, 15 times. I was constantly cracking up. I thought it was absolutely hilarious. To be fair, it's a completely stupid question. And to be honest with you, most of this press conference was a waste of time. So I'm not going to discuss things any further because they were asking Pochettino questions about Man United for some reason. So my friends, that's the press stuff out the way. Let's now discuss the predicted lineup for tomorrow. I'm actually feeling quite confident about the lineup I'm set to see tomorrow. Obviously, with so many injuries happening towards depth right now, I feel like Pochettino will be forced to make an attacking lineup tomorrow. So my friends, here's the lineup I'm seeing. Up front, Nicholas Jackson. Behind him, Mudryk, Cole Palmer, Raheem Sterling. Behind, a pivot of Enzo and Caicedo, and a defense of Cole, Badia Silva, Reece James, and Sanchez in goal. When I see this lineup, I think it's important that they can win this game within 60 to 70 minutes. I don't think we have the depth or the options off the bench to necessarily turn this game around. I look at bench players like maybe Maatsen, maybe Matos, Kukurea, Broja as realistic players we can turn to maybe at least control the game and maintain, hopefully, whatever lead we have against Man United. As I said earlier, I hope Pochettino uses the academy. I need to see Castledine on the bench. He just signed a 3-year deal. I can't see 2 goalkeepers or 3 goalkeepers. I think it's a little bit of a piss take, to be honest with you. But anyway, let's discuss what this lineup can do. The first thing I'm looking at is that right hand side of Raheem Sterling penetrating the spaces in behind, stretching Man United's defence, and of course Cole Palmer and Reece James doubling up, interchanging and playing each other in. I thought against Man City these guys were creating so much danger for us throughout that entire game. We created so many moments from that right hand side based on how they play together, and I'm really excited to see both Reece and Cole continuing this like budding relationship and partnership, because I think to become a top team, our players need to build these understandings together to understand each other's instincts on the field, right? And we're starting to see small signs like Mudryk and Jackson, Palmer and Reece James. You know, Raheem Sterling's a great balance in that attack so far this season. So I feel like United's left-hand side, wow, they're going to be in for a very difficult game tomorrow, because we have a lot of guys who are currently in form right now. Outside of that, I look at our midfield. Yes, Caicedo, hopefully he steps up against United. But I say this even understanding and knowing the fact that, listen, it's not been the most optimum season for him. I kind of see the season as like the write-off for Caicedo. I know it sounds a bit crazy, but he's had no preseason. He's had lots of start and start injuries. I just think that when he's like fully mentally and physically fit, his performances naturally will be a lot better. But alongside him, to have Enzo Fernandez, having Enzo in all phases affecting the game, United will need to have a game plan for Enzo tomorrow. I think it really is that simple. They have to try and nullify him, because if they don't, Enzo's going to provide so much penetration. He's going to control that midfield against United. And one thing I want to see, he's got 2 goals against Brighton. Keep that up now. Get an assist or try and get another goal against United tomorrow. But I feel confident with our midfield and the balance they have, especially most importantly too, yeah, what this pivot is doing in the build-up phase. Because against Brighton, we were attracting their press towards us. We were playing through that with like 1 or 2 passes courtesy of Enzo, Caicedo, and then we were hitting Brighton on the transition time and time again. And I see the same thing happening against United, because United are one of the worst teams when it comes to pressing shape off the ball, and they don't have the back line that have the pace at least to like save their pressing inconsistencies. They don't have that. So I feel like tomorrow, yeah, the only way we don't win is if we beat ourselves, is if we get a silly red card, we don't take our chances, we're very sloppy defending set pieces, or we lose to a wonder goal. Because I think tactically and competitively wise, I don't see United having any advantage over us tomorrow. That's the honest way I see things. I don't see it. I'm looking at the pace we have to really just like hit their back line. You know, Nicholas Jackson's been in decent form recently. I thought he was decent against Brighton. Hopefully he gets on the score sheet again. And of course, Mudryk. You know, he felt the energy of the crowds against Brighton. Let's hope he continues to bring that against United. But I think the depth we have in our first team is superior to Man United's, and I feel like it's up to these guys now to take accountability and get the win and get our first giant killing of the season at Old Trafford tomorrow night. It's been a very long time since we've beaten Man United. So my friends, that is the end for today's video. Share your thoughts and opinions. Hit that like button as well too. Only hit the like button if you think we're going to win though. Let's keep this good luck up, my friends. And on that note, I'll see you guys tomorrow with some more videos. Cool.